But Jeremy, there is a way to mitigate the sound, right?
There is a way.
I've heard about the silent ball.
The silent ball, yes.
So tell me about it and why do people not use it?
I've got 2 balls for you here.
Okay,
You guys
brought
can
the props. Yes.
take a look. Okay, so the slightly brighter yellow one.
This one.
Yep, in your hands. It's actually the silent ball.
Yep.
So it plays, I wouldn't say 100% like a proper outdoor ball, but it plays maybe 80% similar, but without the sound.
What is the material?
It's foam.
Okay.
It's foam, but it's the exact same weight as a pickleball, and the flight of the ball is 80% similar, I would say, to the pickleball. So you can still get like good fun out of it. You can still have, the satisfaction of playing your games and getting active. But I guess some pickleball players will argue like, but part of the fun is the sound, the satisfaction of hitting a good ball and seeing the ball, travel through the air, is one of the things that makes the sport exciting. So I think it's really about compromise, right? There is, the fact that it's a new sound, like you mentioned, right? It's a very new sound to people. So when something new comes in all at once, I think it's very overwhelming as well to start hearing this sound. But if we start to, segregate like time, right, as the indicator. So during the day, right, yes, people are working from home more, but there's also, others who have the luxury of, wanting to, exercise during the day, who might want to play pickleball with a normal ball, right, on the public courts. But when it comes to evening, then maybe, there should be a bit more enforcement of, okay, let's use the proper, silent ball equipment just to make sure that we're not angering our neighbors. Yeah, because then it just becomes like, okay, are we controlling the level of our voice? Like, am I shouting? Am I getting too excited over the game? And that can be very, jarring. And like you said, like noise complaints about people shouting have been around for the longest time.
Yeah. And like compromise is interesting, right? Because like compromise is something that you want to do if you believe like the conflict can be solved.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think sometimes like with high density urban living where we're under a lot of stress, and like these new things come in and we just feel like it piles on to already like a very high, like a very stressful sensory landscape. I think then sometimes we don't fight well. So like even though we have neighbors and we know certain things add to public life in our space, then the reaction to it is just like very averse to compromising. Yeah. So like I wonder also like, if you have a ball like this, why doesn't everyone play with this ball once it's like evening time,
They might make a rule now.
They might.
Because like you can actually reach that compromise now if there are like ways to do that.
Yeah, so
instead of cancelling.
I mean,
like,
even I think
access.
And people are naturally making this decision because we are, we're the distributors of a lot of, good brands, pickleball, and we have our shops on Shopee, our website, and we've seen a real increase in the purchase of these kinds of balls. I think people are starting to realize that, okay, let's make some compromise. I don't think everyone's out to play pickleball to piss, their neighbors off. But it's more so like, okay, let's make the compromise of trying to use these balls and see what happens.
But you always have someone who says, I need the real experience. Then how?
Yeah.
I mean, and then you get people who get very acrimonious. You either get like residents who come down and say, I live here, you need to be quiet. How should people, neighbors handle this sort of disputes? Is there like a best way possible?
I don't know if there's like a best way possible, like a general solution. And I think for things like these also, it probably makes more sense to have like neighborhood by neighborhood solutions. You look at like demographics, you look at like really what are the actual stresses in the neighborhood. Sometimes how they're designed can actually affect how people hear the sounds. But yeah, I think, there probably are people who will not move to the foam ball, but there are also people that will complain about anything, like TV noise. Like people will complain about like, sometimes you have Hari Raya celebrations and like little things and people complain about those things. So I feel like there will always be a certain part of the population that will feel like they cannot take this, they cannot tahan it at all. And those are not the people you convince to engage in compromise because they will not build the social norms that will allow these things to coexist. They will not be interested in actually like finding middle ground. But everyone else, like most people, are interested, I think, in living peacefully, in having like good relationships with their neighbors, And I think most people are also interested in repopulating all of these public spaces. It gets very lonely. And I think people don't see their neighbors a lot. And in these kinds of instances, it's a way to reintroduce people to interaction. So I think people would be interested in finding a compromise.
I think if I can add on to that, I think it's also about getting more people to accept the sport for what it is. I think it's something that's unfamiliar. Like we hear kids playing basketball, we've all played basketball during PE, right? You hear people playing badminton, like, oh yeah, we've all done that, right? But pickleball is so new. It's like, I don't understand this sport. It's so noisy. It's upsetting me, right? I'm gonna complain, right? But if I dare say, people who do play pickleball, if they hear the sound, they're like, nice, someone's playing pickleball. I wish I was there. I can't. I have a meeting.
Yeah.
I got to go into the meeting, right? So it's really about perception, right? As a pickleball player, I would say I don't feel affected by the sound at all.
Because you're so used to it.
I'm so used to it.
Hear
Yeah,
all,
so
every day, yeah.
Yep. Okay. Right. But for someone who's not used to it, then I do see, some level of compromise that needs to be made. And my
But
best
that's a good point.
suggestion.
People can get used to anything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Best suggestion would be, let's have more, community engagement. Let people understand what they're actually, complaining about, and then after that, if you have an opinion about it, like let's hear it out and let's find, a common ground of compromise.